Hey guys, John Bramlett here. I'm gonna start on my next Two Blind Brothers t-shirt. I'm doing two of them. That was like four, wasn't it? No, I'm doing two. And I'm about to do the next one, and I was wondering what to paint. And I think what I'm gonna do is a lighthouse. You know, it's that beacon in the darkness. And I feel like we've all been in that sort of situation where, it's like it's an insurmountable problem. You don't know what to do. You don't know where to go, and then hopefully you've got that beacon of hope out there. And so that's what I want to do on here. When I first lost my eyesight, I thought it made me different than everyone else. It made me feel very isolated. But over time, though, I started to think that it made me more like everyone. Everybody has that sort of insurmountable problem, and it doesn't have to be disability, but I've talked to soldiers with PTSD. We've done workshops. I've done workshops with children with autism, adults with Alzheimer's, just a host of different things. And like I say, it doesn't have to be disability. It could be a health scare or any sort of scare in the family or something going on. It's just a situation that you don't feel like you can handle. Well, for me, it was the eyesight and the epilepsy. And like I say, I thought it made me different, but it just made me more like everybody else. So what I'm going to do is paint a lighthouse, because for me, I was lucky. I had people around me that didn't give up on me. So for me, that was my lighthouse. So that's what I'm going to do on here. Let me give you a look at the canvas. So this is where we're going to go. Oh, look, let me show you this real quick. Two Blind Brothers. I don't know if you can read that or not, but there it is. I'm going to stick this right back up here where it belongs. So let me get some paints, and I'm going to get started. All right, I got my paint. So the paint that I'm using, here, let me show you my brush. It's a high flow acrylic, but it's a very slick sort of paint, so that whenever I put it on the canvas, I can actually feel the lines, and it dries very quickly. I used to dry with a fabric paint, but now, did I say dry or draw? I draw with a fabric paint, and now I use this high flow acrylic because it just works so much quicker, and it's easy for me to fill. Now I'm wondering, I'm going to put that lighthouse, I want it coming up here, and I'm just wondering, and I'm just going to sketch it out. So, and also my head's probably going to pop in front of this camera, so I'm going to go ahead and just apologize for that. So let me see. You know what? If you don't know where to start, just start somewhere. Does that sound? That's a very simplistic way of looking at it, but it's true. Very often people want to do a creative endeavor, and just that first stroke is the thing that keeps them from getting started. So, and I'm going to speed this up here in a little bit. That way you just don't have to hear me ramble on this entire time, but I did want to explain a little bit about what I was doing. So I've got these lines on there. So it's already, this side is already starting to dry. So I can feel that. I mean, you can't see that on there, but on the camera, but it leaves a line that I can feel. So if you're a sighted artist, what you do is you use your eyes to know where you are and where you've been. Well, if you're a non-visual person, use your sense of touch to know where you are and where you've been. So if I'm walking around my studio, I use my sense of touch to know where I am and where I'm going. I can feel things. And it's the same way on here. So that's what I'm doing right here. I have a little switcher down here to help me switch scenes, and it's kind of nice because it only has a few buttons, so I only have a little bit that I have to fill. Makes it easy for me, so that's nice. Easier the better. Now, before I put the top of that on there, I'm going to go ahead and get the idea of where I might. So, and this is just sort of it's a rough sketch. So a lot of people tell me like, oh, John, I can't paint because I can't draw. You know what? No worries. Sketching isn't drawing. Sketching is just thinking out loud on canvas, or in this case on a t-shirt or on paper or whatever. So, and this is just an idea. I think I'm going to have that. I'm going to make this a little more rocky up there. I've been looking forward to doing this painting for a while, and one aspect about it, let me see, feel where I am. I never paint on black, so I've been kind of looking forward to that. I mean, I shouldn't say I never do, but I rarely do. So this is just kind of cool for me. I get to do something I rarely get to do. And except for the other t-shirt I did of that lady's face, I never paint on a t-shirt. So I get two good things out of this. That's pretty cool. So let me see. So what I'm doing is just touching and feeling. Now when I first started painting in 2002, it was very simple shapes and whatnot. But it's just like anything. The more that you do something, the better you get at it. So I was able to go from those very simple shapes to things that were a little more complicated. So as you can see, we've got the basic idea of a lighthouse. Now I'm going to let this dry for a little bit. Let me see. I'm going to make sure I make this thick enough so that even when other paint gets over it, I'll still be able to feel these lines. Because I don't want to lose my place. Alright, here, let me see, where is this? I'll let you look at that. So as you see, it's a very basic shape. What I want for this painting is for it to not to necessarily be the most realistic painting ever. You know, I want it to have feeling and emotion, and but not to be a complete abstract either. You know, I want the realism, I want the structure, the idea of the lighthouse, but more than just the idea of the lighthouse. So I want the feeling, that emotion that you get where, you know, you've had a storm and then suddenly, you know, you got that breaking light and that feeling of hope. So that's a lot to put on a t-shirt, isn't it? So wish me luck, but we'll do this. All right. Get this back down there. All right, I'm going to let that dry for just a moment, and then we'll do some more damage. Just finished the t-shirts for the Two Blind Brothers t-shirt project that I've been working on. I had so much fun with this. You know, I've never painted on t-shirts before, and I think, you know, these t-shirts are extremely soft. I think the softness of the material and the fact like you would work on a little bit and it would give one way and it would give another way, that actually aided with the composition, because as I was doing that and the t-shirt would kind of stretch a little bit, I just went with it, and it made it so much fun and made it interesting to work with. You know, the Two Blind Brothers t-shirt company, Brian and Brad, they're a great couple of guys. Please like and subscribe them wherever you see them. If you enjoyed watching me paint, or you want to learn how to paint yourself, or just want to lurk around my website, please feel free. We'd love to have you over there. Thanks so much, guys.